Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we're covering Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Let's start loading. Hopefully the audio is where it should be. It's a little weird here to ask you your save slot before you even get into the main menu. If anything, the audio is just going to be a little loud, which usually I've been running into issues the other way, where it's too quiet. This is an interesting game because I really did love The Force Unleashed 1. It had some problems, certainly. By default, the subtitles are on. The controller settings here are kind of odd in that you can only invert options or toggle options from the top. That's an interesting way to do it. I haven't seen that. We're going to be playing with the controller. Screen resolution wise, we're at full screen 1080p resolution. Graphics detail, I decided to put it on high, which would turn on everything, and then turn off motion blur because nobody likes motion blur. Now, there is this high dynamic range rendering concept, which might completely and totally ruin the color if you had turned that on a much more recent game. But since this is nearly, I believe, a 9-year-old game, whatever they're calling HDR is not the 4K HDR settings that we use today on, well, there's a couple of competing standards that we use today. I've played games like Abduction and had HDR enabled, and then the footage just looks really bad. It'll be hard. It's hard to test that because this main menu is all black and white. Now there's a login here for LucasArts website, a server that's been shut down, so don't try to log into that or the game, I think, will crash. And then cheats are just apparently a box where you type in your cheat, which certainly doesn't help if you're playing a with a controller. Extra wise, there's databank, cinematics, concept art, and credits, all of which are locked until we play the game. So, like I started to say, I love The Force Unleashed 1, and here you need to press Y to play the challenges offline. But The Force Unleashed 2 was kind of the last game that LucasArts ever made. There are maybe a few mobile games that they're making, or that Disney is making, for the cartoon Star Wars Rebels, which is the continuation, sort of the soft continuation of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and a lot of the elements of this failed project that has now been erased from history were put into Star Wars Rebels. So there's almost 100% chance that you'll never see Starkiller here, or a continuation of the story, which is a real shame because this story, from what I've heard, was written in 3 weeks, and you can see the number of levels here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's only 9 levels in this whole game. It's probably only going to be a 5 to maybe 10 hour experience, and it's just going to be a rushed kind of cash grab. So you go, from my perspective, because I don't like the TIE Fighter versus the Flight Simulator TIE Fighter games, and I really can't play the Knights of the Old Republic MMOs, that really only leaves the Force Unleashed as a single player experience. And now that EA has a 10-year contract with Disney to make all of the Star Wars games, and they don't really want to make a single player experience, they'd much prefer to make something like Battlefront 2, which, by the way, Battlefront 2 is not even on Steam because it's EA Origin, therefore I would probably never play it in the first place. There's there's kind of nowhere to go for me with Star Wars games. I did recently play Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes, and it's an awful game that really underutilized the Clone Wars cartoon, because I watched some of the Clone Wars cartoon afterwards on Netflix, and the cartoon's way better. Like, if I had time, I'd watch all 6 seasons and then start watching Star Wars Rebels. But the game, based off the cartoon, is so bad, it didn't really push me or encourage me to play it. And that's kind of, I guess, all the setup we need right now. We're taking too long. It is also worth pointing out, it's been a year for me, or about a year, since I played The Force Unleashed 1. I could not for the life of me remember what happened at the end of the game. There is a light side, dark side ending that ends up with either way Starkiller looking like he was dead. So how they're going to fix that and have the story continue the issue, I don't know. I also thought the girl who's flashing in the background on the left, and will flash again next time the lightning hits, I believe, I thought she was dead, and she isn't, which is kind of interesting. So I didn't really remember too much of the story. It's more the feeling and the concept of giving incredibly powerful force powers to some character in the Star Wars universe, and bringing it up to more to the next level, more of an anime-esque level. And yeah, Juno, I believe, is her name on the left there. I thought she was dead. She wasn't. In a lot of ways, the movie Star Wars The Rogue One also kind of contradicts and flies in the face of what The Force Unleashed is. It's still possible you could squeeze this story in, but not very well. That's way too much setup. Let's actually start playing the game. Sorry for this. Since it's such a short game, let's play it on easy and see if maybe there's a reason to come back and play it on medium or hard. I don't want to also run into a case, however, of a short game that's not that good also being too difficult. We're going to have more than enough frustration already. Hopefully, this goes back and explains some things. Definitely the right way to start any Star Wars game is to do this. And, well, Clone Wars, the Clone Wars game certainly didn't do that. Clone Wars cartoon doesn't do it either. It sort of does it, but it doesn't play this music. The galaxy is on the brink of civil war, inspired by the sacrifice of Darth Vader's secret apprentice. A ragtag rebel alliance plots to overthrow the evil galactic empire. Imperial forces in relentless pursuit of the rebels have captured the Jedi Knight Ram Kota. The general lost. The alliance fleet has vanished. While the empire searches for the rebels, Darth Vader has put a dark plan in motion that will bring an end to the apprentice's legacy. I really liked how the first game ended and the Emperor accidentally created the Rebel Alliance. It's a nice ironic twist. From what I've seen of some reviews of the latest Star Wars Rebels cartoon, they've really changed what the Force is and what it means to. The Clone Wars kind of did that too in the Lost missions. So it's all become very much more magical and mystical compared to episode 1, 2, and 3 trying to say it's all midi-chlorians, and 4, 5, and 6 trying to keep it relatively controlled, where you can move things with your mind and control some people with Jedi mind tricks, but that's about all you could do. And even when the Emperor used Force Lightning, that was the first time you'd seen anybody use Force Lightning. So here we have Darth Vader. He's alive. I believe in the bad ending of the game, which they wouldn't be following, Darth Vader may have actually been killed, which clearly you can't go forward in the Star Wars series with Darth Vader being killed. Or maybe you can clone him.
How long this time?
13 days in isolation. Impressive.
The Force gives me all I need.
The Force?
The dark side. My master.
Come.
So Starkiller is supposed to be dead. How he's alive is confusing.
Starkiller's Jedi mentor has been captured.
General Coda.
Yes. When your training is complete, you will travel to Cato Nemoidia and execute him.
Vader thinks he's turned you, but I can sense your future. And Vader won't always be your master.
So he has the memories of Starkiller.
Visions.
Yes, master. I sometimes smell a forest on fire. I see the general falling, and I feel the ground shake as a starship crashes around me. I hear a woman's voice when I try to sleep.
They are memories of a dead man. A side effect of the cloning process and the memory flashes used to train you. They will fade.
So they cloned him,
If they don't,
and they did something called memory flashes
No use
to make a new...
Starkiller's emotions made him weak.
And we're getting another
Must destroy what he
robot who are going to...
to hate what he loved.
robots that are designed to appear like people. So, press X to attack with your lightsabers. And he's holding both lightsabers backwards. And a character in the Clone Wars named Ahsoka, a young Padawan apprentice, B to press force push, and B to charge a stronger force push, and we're getting some kind of energy or currency and health. I remember this a lot. Interesting sound effects here every time he gets hit. We've unlocked a new challenge. I think I accidentally killed her.
Wait! Don't.
Juno?
Yes.
Strike her down.
I can't.
You will. You were created to do my bidding. Then it is as I feared.
Why is this happening to me?
The accelerated cloning process is still imperfect. Those who came before you went mad within months. I believed you would be the first success, but it seems you are to suffer the same fate.
I guess they don't do accelerated cloning in the same way with the clone troopers. And he's off on an adventure. Off on his own. This is, I believe, the same planet that they did make the clone troopers. And am I controlling this, or is this a cutscene? This looks like a cutscene. Oh no, I'm in control now. It's a... So I don't want to get hit by lightning, or... Seems like I could probably move up a little higher. Wow, they scrambled those TIE fighters really fast. That is a nice way to start the game. So, this is, to be fair, the trophy room from the first game. Follow the saber, attack with XB. The sound effects sound maybe a little awkward, but XY. Wow, that's a nice attack. I'm not sure we had these attacks in the main game, in the first game. And let's just jump to our death. Wow. Let's check the checkpointing. Not bad. Alright, that's a little bad. Let's see. His stuff needs to stop, because that's going to get very annoying. Very, very annoying. I imagine the game will checkpoint me as soon as I jump out of the next area. The only question is, let's see, force power seems to recharge, and let's see, there's a kind of a dash on the left bump we haven't seen yet. We have screens that we can break. This will tell me my goal with the force sense. But I wanted to look up here and just see if there was any collectibles. I guess there aren't. I was actually expecting worse. So maybe the game does a good intro and then gets boring later, or maybe it's just really short. I can't really hate a short game. Particularly after playing the Clone Wars game and it feeling twice as long as it should be. Double jump, dash. And we can even hear background. Let's see, Y and B. Like Y and B to grapple. And X and A, and I can use left trigger to block and right trigger for the force. Alright, that's a little awkward, but not insane. This looks good. The graphics look alright. Like, for roughly a 9-year-old game. Here we have the doors that were in the first game that got a little annoying because you'd have to blast way too many of them. But not really. I don't know if I really had to blast that door as much as I did. There is nothing up here, it seems. There was a ton of collectibles in the first game, and I kind of feel like I should have run into something by now. And there we go. Press and hold to access the platform. And there's nothing hidden back down here. Like, I assume these are sable crystals and other things, and not nice rain technology too. It's kind of amazing. Let's see. We've got some costumes that we'll unlock. We unlocked quite a few with the DLC in the first game, and looks like we'll unlock a decent number here. I'm not sure if there really was any DLC for this game or the first game, or if just maybe I have the complete edition, or maybe I don't. With Crimson, well, I could change one to Chaos, gain extra force points when destroying the environment. You might as well make it your main thing immediately, since there's no bonus to what you have by default. It felt kind of unimportant to collect a lot of the stuff that was available, but the Force Unleashed one, I did enjoy it, and it felt like something that I could here's the problem with this. It's nice that these troopers have these force or energy pellets, so that they're not just getting sliced through. However, I still have the force, and because I have the force, I can really just wreck the guy. Yep. Follow saber attack with X and B. It feels like they're mostly wasting my time and giving me the same tutorial twice. Follow a saber attack with X and Y. And like the first game, it is running through a lot of areas, and to be careful, to be honest, you're either going to play like the Clone Wars game, and let's see, can I force one of these guys? Yes, I can. You're either going to find a bunch of clone troopers, stormtroopers, or droids if you're playing the prequel games. In the Clone Wars game, specifically, it was droids all the time for 5 to 7 hours of gameplay. Very annoying, because there's, while there might have actually been more variety in droids than stormtroopers. Have another saber crystal. There's less familiarity and nostalgia in my mind for fighting droids than there is to fight clone troopers that are more from 4, 5, and 6 as far as the movies. Still feel like it's telling me the same tutorial messages over again. Like it's saying XB and XY, and I may have to go in the menu and turn off the tutorial messages, because this is pretty repetitive. Not a lot of destructible environment or branching paths. That's something you would have liked to see. Found the green Bach attack. Your maximum health has been increased. Apparently I could come up here and see if there's any collectible, but there actually isn't. Some little spots of yellow around. Still very easy to use the Force to kill people. There. One blast and then you can just walk around. Or if you really want to, you could do 2 blasts and you'll still be fine. Feels kind of like we're going in circles. The first game was definitely full of platforms like this, levels where it's definitely a just straight narrow hallways. This is effectively a narrow hallway, except for the fact that there's a edge on the side that enemies can fall off of. Now this is interesting because it's not open enough, and that's still not open enough. And then force grip to stop that. This is cool. And if Disney for a second cared about making any content for consoles or PC for Star Wars, a remaster of this series would be very interesting. However, that really assumes that... What was that? I'm seeing some white shadows. That I don't know if that's just glitchy, like, or smoke from your lightsabers, I guess. Yeah. Use the force grip to throw objects and terminals to deactivate the force field. And see, we're kind of gone in a circle. And I wonder if this is actually going to turn into a flash memory that we're playing through instead of just being a mostly tutorial section. And getting things to work and throw in the right direction still a little problematic. And it's the exact same image. There was definitely some side stories. You have enough to rank up your force powers, press back to go to the force powers menu. So what do I want? Let's see. Saber. Lightsaber damage would be increased. Damage power and area of effect increase, and you can rapidly fire force push. Hopefully we will unlock these abilities relatively fast, so we can have them and get them through most of the game before we're finished with the game, because clearly this was a underdeveloped game in a weird way. Usually games can cram in twice as many levels as they actually should have. You've unlocked a mind trick. Hold this and press Y. Alright. Hold this and press Y. Left trigger and press Y.
It is time to go.
That's really cool, and that's not something that was in the game originally. So am I supposed to be going this direction? I guess not really. And I guess I was supposed to go down this way. And it seems like you probably can't mind trick too many people.
Those are not your friends.
This seems like something that needs to be broken. but I can't do anything with it. And you can't really do anything else here. Seems like not everybody can mind trick. See, these guys will go here and break the field. But apparently you can't do that. That's interesting. Are they going to shoot? That's what they're going to do. Alright. So it's been kind of a slow start. I apologize for that. It always is on the first recording. We could see replenish your focus energy with each strike. We can put that on our secondary. So now we're really going to use these lightsabers. Go ahead and save the game just in case there is no auto saving. And I'm really surprised here. For a game that has mixed reviews on Steam, which to be fair, the Clone Wars game had mostly negative reviews, and rightly so in my opinion. This doesn't feel too bad. It may just be slightly short and slightly disappointing. I could certainly see a lot of people who loved The Force Unleashed and were hyped about it, and people who love Star Wars in general and would be hyped about it being disappointed to have a sequel that is just kind of short. But if it's better than average and it's short, it might, there's a chance here not to completely disappoint me, other than the fact that there will almost certainly never be a Force Unleashed 3, because this was the hard R of games, and now that Disney owns Star Wars, we're not going to get anything above a PG-13 as far as Star Wars games or anything that tries to change the history or in any way do something risky. That's it for this recording. As always, I end my episodes the same way. I ask you to like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. That helps you get notifications. If you want to follow me on any social media sites like Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, there's a bunch of links in the description box to follow me there. And if you want to support my channel, I'm asking people to gift me either a gift card or a game on Steam, as my channel's not running ads right now. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.